Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Say hi, Lily.
She's looking at Dad.
She's looking at Dad.
Daddy.
She loves looking. She's definitely sometimes a daddy's girl. I'm not even gonna lie. Say hi, Lily. Hi, Lily. Hi. Hi. She keeps looking at Femi. Hello everyone, my name is Winnie Doyle-Marshall. Femi and Lily are in the bedroom just taking a nap, and we are the Doyle-Marshalls. So what we are going to be talking about today are newborn essentials. Lily is almost 14 weeks now. By the time I put out this video, she'll be like 13 weeks and 5 days-ish. So we have passed the newborn stage, and there have been a lot of items that have been helping us out throughout this period, and I'll be taking forward with me as I continue along this journey. So without further ado, let's get started. One thing I do want to add before I get into the list is I am saying that these are newborn essentials. However, really what is essential is for any baby is really just love, food, whether that's breast milk or formula, some type of diapering, some type of clothing, and yeah, a place to sleep. That's pretty much it, whether it's a crib, a bassinet, or co-sleeping. So those are really the essentials. Everything that I'm going to be listing here are things that really have helped throughout this journey. So by no means do you have to get every single thing on this list. I think you could probably survive without them. So let's get started. The first thing on my list is, let me tell you, this is called the Boppy, or it's like a nursing pillow. You could get the Boppy, or you could get the My Breast Friend. That's the other version that's like the other brand that they have. And then you can also get any other type of brand. It really doesn't have to be one or the other, but essentially it's a nursing pillow. It goes around your waist, and it just has really helped me throughout this journey with feeding Lily. It just makes it more comfortable. So basically you put this around your waist, I hold Lily like this, and it just keeps her horizontal to my breast while I'm breastfeeding. Now I would say this is also comfortable if you're bottle feeding. We did go through a small period of time where we were bottle feeding while, for those of you that don't know, Lily was in the NICU for about 4 weeks, actually after she came home, so that's a whole other story. But when we were in the NICU, there were certain times where we had to bottle feed her express breast milk. So when I was in the hospital, they actually had the My Breast Friend pillow, and that was actually super helpful too, even while I was bottle feeding, because it just gave my arms a rest while I was holding her. It gave my arms a rest while I was, you know, feeding her the bottle, all of it. So I think this is purely comfort, but honestly, I use it every single time I breastfeed, and I also use it almost every single time I like burp her. So if I'm holding her, or if I'm trying to soothe her, or if I'm trying to put her to sleep, this is like, it just gives your arms rest, so you don't have to like carry a heavy baby, because babies are actually really heavy. And it's like one of those things where the longer you carry something, the heavier it gets. That definitely is true for a baby. Next thing I actually use in terms of breastfeeding is actually like nipple pads. Or breast pads. So these are reusable ones, so you can get these on Amazon. I'll actually link most of the items I'm talking about down below, so if you do want to take a look at them, you can just click the links down below. But anyway, reusable nipple pads. I put these in my breast, so quite often you do leak milk, at least I do. I actually leak more from one side than the other, so I think everyone's just different in how it happens, or if it happens. For me, it definitely does happen. So these are basically in there all the time, every day. If they're not the reusable ones, then I do have the disposable ones as well, and I always keep them handy, just in case I run out of the reusable ones and I just haven't had a chance to wash them. So I could just grab these real quick, throw them in. There are so many times in the middle of the night, I cannot tell you, when like I'm breastfeeding her on one side, and then the other side it's just like, I don't know, it's moved or something, and or I'm just not paying attention to it, and it like completely leaks through my bra. and it's the most uncomfortable feeling, so rather be comfortable than not. So that's another one. So talking about you know, bras and breast milk, I would say you need a nursing bra or a type of bra that is easy to nurse in. That is super important for me. It's just easy when she's really hungry or she's crying or whatever the case is. If I can just plop her on, you know, take that off, and she goes right in, instead of having to like really be uncomfortable with what I'm wearing and uncomfortable with like just the ease of getting her to my boob. If you are bottle feeding or breast pumping, if you're breast pumping, what I would also say you need is a pumping bra. So what people don't, or at least I'm not gonna say people, me, okay, what I didn't realize is that when you pump and you use a breast pump, it doesn't actually stay on its own. So I don't know, I was under the assumption that because a breast pump suctions, you kind of, I have it here, so it's suctioning, so it's just gonna stay on. Nope, not the case. I actually had to like hold the breast pump. You have to hold the breast pump in place, and if you don't want to do that, you need a breast pump bra. So basically they have like little holes right around the nipple area, and you just place the breast pump in there, and it just kind of hangs off, and the suction just continues to work. If you don't want to invest, or you're unable to invest in a pumping bra, what I would say an alternative, which I learned at the hospital, that you could do is just have like a sports bra, and you can just, like an old sports bra or whatever, and you can just like cut slits in the bra itself, in the sports bra, and then you can use that as a breast pump bra. On the topic of breast pumping, I would say you need a breast pump if you are choosing to feed your baby express breast milk. So I have two types of breast pumps. Let's see the number of times I can say breast pump. But anyway, this is the first one I have. It's the Lancino. This is actually the one that was on my gift registry, and my sisters thankfully gifted it to us. Now, I did have this. I wasn't planning to pump at all, but when Lily went into the hospital, I did want to keep my supply, because I didn't know how long she was going to be in the hospital for, and my intention was fully that when she comes out of the hospital, I wanted to go back to breastfeeding. I thankfully was able to do that. She was in there for 4 weeks, but after that she actually latched on really well, thankfully. So I am back on breastfeeding, but that means for 4 weeks I was pumping. I was pumping every 3 hours in order to keep my supply, because she wasn't feeding off my breast the whole time she was in the hospital, just due to the reason she was in there. She couldn't breastfeed, and so I had to pump every 3 hours, including the middle of the night, because I had to basically act like she was breastfeeding off of me. I used this, and for the first, I would say the first week, because I thought she was going to be in the hospital for a week at first. And I actually got advice from the lactation consultant that these may not be the best breast pumps for me to use, especially because of how often I had to use them. They just, something about the suction, like there's just better brands out there that suction better, and just they express more milk based on the type of suction that they have, and some of them are actually also more comfortable. So I was using this for a while. I think it's a fine brand to use if, you know, if that's what you can do. What I did end up doing is I actually went to one of the recommended brands from my lactation consultant, which was the Medela. So I got the Medela Freestyle pump. It basically is, this is the pump itself. It's really small, and it comes with like this wire that just kind of hooks up to the back of the breast pump. They come in a couple different pieces, and these actually come with 2 different sizes of nipple shields. You do want to make sure that you have the right size flange. That's what they're called. I was trying to think. They're called flange. Phalanges? I don't know, something like that. So these basically go, like I said, right on your boob. And this was a better brand for me. It was more comfortable. I did find that it did express more milk than the Lancino brand that I had. So, but it is also a little bit pricier. I was really hesitant to invest in it, but I think for me, just because of my situation, the longer that Lily was in the hospital, the more I realized, oh my gosh, I need to get a new pump. I need to make sure my supply stays intact, so we kind of switched to this brand. Now talking about breast pumps, I would say if you are pumping, you need well, what I was contemplating buying was a bottle drying rack, because I had to wash these after every time I pumped. I just wanted to make sure that I had a place where I was keeping my pump and my bottles separate from all my other dishes. So I didn't use the dish rack. I kind of just used a container. Like, I just did a makeshift thing because I wasn't trying. I was gonna see how long I could go without needing it. But there is one that I was eyeing, which is the Boone drying rack. It's basically like grass, and I've seen many different reviews on it. A lot of people speak really highly of it. And you can just kind of put like the bottles, the bottle pump parts, the nipples if you're bottle feeding, all that kind of stuff. So that's something that I actually was going to get, but I didn't end up doing it because I did go back to breastfeeding Lily after she came out of the hospital. Another thing I would recommend is bottles. You need bottles if you're going to be bottle feeding. In terms of what bottle to get. Now, a lot of folks have recommended that you don't get a whole set at first. You kind of want to try out which bottle works for your baby, which nipple they take, because some babies, they prefer one bottle versus the other. For us, what happened, well, we had this actually came in like a little sampler pack, and so we decided to try it, see if she likes it when she came home, and she actually took to it. It's the Dr. Brown's anti-colic. It's the one with the slimmer nipple, and she actually took to it right away. When we did try other bottles that we had, and we were, it was given to us, she actually didn't like it. So we realized this is the type of bottle she liked. Now that's a whole other story, because a couple weeks later she just stopped taking bottles altogether. She didn't want bottles, she just wanted the boob, and that's fine by me. But yeah, you kind of want to buy, I would recommend buying like one, seeing if they like it, buy another brand, see if they like it, kind of go that way. And once you know what they like, buy a set, just so you have a couple different ones and you don't constantly have to wash like one bottle. That's what I would say. Now, on the topic of, we're still talking about breastfeeding and nipple care and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna say what you probably want / need is some type of nipple cream. When you start breastfeeding, it's actually, for me, it wasn't the most comfortable, it wasn't instinctual, it wasn't any of that. It hurt, it was painful, and I was really focused on making sure she had a good latch. Now, while I was in that process of making sure she had a good latch, and even at first after she did latch really well, my nipples hurt. And so something that I really relied on, and even now do sometimes, is nipple cream. One of the ones I have is actually this one. It's Organic Earth Mama nipple cream. Oh, nipple balm, organic nipple balm, and it has like a bunch of natural ingredients, so like shea butter and just stuff like that. And then I also use when I'm like, yo, this is, I need this now, this hurts, I use this was recommended to me, which was lanolin. It's just Lancino lanolin nipple cream. So yeah, I kind of use both. I switch off, like, which one do I feel like using? Is it really that bad? Is it not that bad? So that's kind of, those are the two that I would recommend. They work for me and they work really well. Another thing I would recommend is, if you are, pumping, is just a breastfeeding bag. So this is so that you can store your breast milk. So you can either store it in the fridge or the freezer. In the freezer, I think it lasts up to like 6 months, but if you're using a deep freezer, it can last longer. I would just look at the bags and see like what they say, but this is basically it. You do need these if you're going to store your breast milk, or like some type of thing to store it in. One more thing you might want that I just would want to mention is actually a bottle warmer. At first I didn't invest in one, but then I just bought it. I bought the Event bottle warmer. It actually works for many different types of bottles, so it works perfectly fine for my Dr. Brown's bottles. Now what I will say is that it does not have a timer. So we actually have a timer in the kitchen. I just have it at 3 minutes. Every time I use a bottle, I just tap it, it rings off at 3 minutes. So that's just something you'd have to pay attention to make sure that your milk doesn't get too warm. So a bottle warmer is just something you might need. If you don't want to buy a bottle warmer, which is fine, like less stuff the better, you could actually just boil some water in a kettle and like like warm up the bottle in some hot water and just check it to make sure it's not too hot when you're feeding the baby. The next thing I'm going to talk about is diapering. Okay, so what do you need if you're diapering? I would say you need some kind of diapers. The ones that we use, I actually don't care about which brand I use. I've used Pampers, I've used Huggies, and I've also used Little Rascals, something like that, and they all do just fine. They do the job. I don't have a preference for one or the other. Some people do. I would say if you're really not sure, buy like the small packs of the newborn ones and just see what you prefer or what baby prefers. Another thing I would say is you need wipes. For us, we don't mind any kind of wipe, but our favorite wipes are actually water wipes. So water wipes are our favorite wipes. They are actually, it says a 99.9% of water, and they have a drop of fruit extract. So these are actually our favorites. They are a bit more wet than I find other brands are, and that's what we like about them. Not only that they're natural, but they just have more water in them. Like, I find they clean a little bit more effectively, especially poop and blowouts and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I would say. Another thing I would say you need is actually a changing pad. So the type of changing pad we have is a silicone. Is it silicone? I actually don't know what material it is, but it's basically, I'll just put a picture down here for you. But basically you can just wipe off of it. So if pee or poo or whatever gets on it, you don't have to change the whole changing pad. You can actually just use a wipe and wipe off it, clean it right off. It is a little bit more of an investment. It runs around $100 Canadian. But I just like it better. I think for me, it was gifted to us, but it is something that I think we would have spent money on regardless. It just saves us time, it saves us washing, it saves us just energy, all that kind of stuff. So for me, that is totally worth it, because just this morning there was a little bit of a poop explosion and I really saw the benefit of having this changing pad. I was like, yep, this is why we have it. I also have are different diaper changing stations in each room. So I have one here in the living room, I have one in the bedroom. So basically I have like this diaper caddy. I have this in the living room, and I have like wipes, diapers, like my nipple cream, my nipple pads, all that kind of stuff is in here, and it's in the living room. And the one that I have in the bedroom is actually just like, it literally looks like this. I got this from the dollar store. Like, it doesn't matter, you can have your wipes in there, you know, whatever. I have coconut oil in here as well. So I have that in the other rooms as well. I have one by my bedside, and I actually also have one on our changing table as well. I have one on the bedside so that when she wakes up in the middle of the night, if I need to change her diaper, I can just do it really quick on the bed. And I have a changing pad with each of those as well. So the type of changing pad I have is just something like this. This is in the living room, and I have like a different one in the bedroom. But just easy to do quick changes anywhere in your home, so you don't have to keep going back to the changing pad if it's inconvenient for you. And then speaking of diapers, what I would say you probably need is a diaper bag or some type of bag to have those items when you are traveling, or you're going to the doctor's appointment, or you're going to someone's home, or whatever. The diaper bag can have same thing: diapers, wipes, diaper rash cream, whatever it is that you need. Speaking of diaper rash cream, what we use is actually Peniton. So Lily did have a bit of a diaper rash weeks ago, like soon after she came home from the hospital. So that's when I actually started using this, and now I don't use it at every diaper change because she doesn't have rashes anymore, but I use it once in a while, especially at night. If she goes a longer stretch of sleep and she's sitting in pee, I use it at night, every night. Just so that she doesn't get a diaper rash overnight. And then moving on, what I will in terms of sleeping, what you kind of need is a crib, or I would say a bassinet if you want. It's a bassinet, I think, would be comfier. It's just more closed off. What we have is actually a crib in our room, so it's actually right by my bedside, which is easy for me. We just didn't have the space to have a bassinet as well as a crib, so that's what we do. So you need like bedspreads, stuff like that. If you are co-sleeping, what I would recommend is just do some research and look at what are safe ways to co-sleep. I did that because there were some nights where she just would not be in the crib and she just did not she just wasn't having it, and I just wanted to make sure that I would bring her into the bed with me, but I just wanted to make sure that if I am doing that, I'm doing that in the most safest way possible, because sometimes for us, that was just a necessity if we all wanted to be staying in our home and not stay up all night. So that's something I looked into, and I would definitely recommend you do that. You know, I'm not a health expert, so you know, whatever you do, just make sure you're doing your research, make sure you're talking to your doctor, etc., etc., if you're looking at whatever, if you're unsure of anything. With the crib and the bedspread, what I would recommend is a mattress protector, just in case, you know, there's any leakage or blowouts in the mattress, like while they're on the crib. You just want to have like a mattress protector or like a bassinet mattress protector, if I think those exist. So I would say you definitely want that, just in case she pees through your baby pees or poops through their diaper. That's definitely important. It protects your mattress. It just protects your bed. So moving on to a couple other items you might need. I actually have a list right here. I'm not going to show you these things necessarily because it's just something that you might actually. I am going to show you something. I'm going to show you the sleepers that we use. So when she came home from the, well, first time when she came home from the hospital, what we actually used is like these onesies. These are awesome. So what I would recommend are getting onesies with feet on them, so you don't have to worry about socks falling off, because honestly, I don't even know, we don't even go anywhere. It's pandemic and we've still lost socks. So you want sleepers with feet, and these ones are just easy zip down sleepers. These, oh my gosh, when she first came home from the hospital, super easy. They're still pretty easy, but it's getting pretty hot now, so I don't use it as much. But these, super helpful. Now we kind of use more, just because it is getting warm, we use like kind of these, you know, the standard ones with like the button on the bottom. What I would recommend is, like, if you ever want to change their clothes and you don't want to put it over their head for whatever reason, if they've had any situation down here, you can unbutton this and you can actually just take it off from the top and take the clothes off from the bottom. That's a trick I learned when I was in my prenatal classes. So yeah, there's these like little slips here, and you can actually just take it. It allows you to actually remove their clothes from the top down and just take one arm off at a time. So that's a neat little trick. Something else we have, or we used a lot in the newborn stage, we don't use them now, are these Velcro swaddles. So these just open up, and then you can put baby in, and easy swaddling, and then you can just velcro back in, and it actually does hold them in place. Now if you don't want to use Velcro ones, or if they grow out of them, so Lily just grew out of these, what I actually now use are cloth swaddles. She still hasn't learned to roll over, so we do still swaddle her, and that's how she sleeps best, to be honest. So we have these swaddle blankets. They're from a brand, Adonis, something like that. I can't know. I'll link it down below. But basically you want to look for a swaddle blanket that has a little bit of a give. So these do have a little bit of a give. So they are firm, but they're actually really good. I love that I invested in this. And then in addition to that, what I would say you kind of need are just like hats, socks, burp cloths, and like blankets if it's cold and stuff like that. We have these receiving blankets that I also use as burp cloths. They're just like square blankets, and they're not very thick, so sometimes I use them as burp cloths. I'll just put them over my shoulder and I'll burp her. What I also do is actually I also put them over my boppy, so that if milk is coming out of her mouth while she's breastfeeding, it doesn't go right on the nursing pillow. It actually just goes on the cloth itself. It's just easy cleanup. So that's that. Now on the topic of burp cloths, the actual burp cloth we use are these. And these are easy. These are actually Femi's favorite. We just put them over our shoulder. I'll link them down below. I had 4 of them, and I actually put in another order just because we like them so much, but they were getting used a lot. She does have a little bit of reflux, so she does tend to have wet burps. So yeah, that's that. So a couple other things you do need are, I would say, well, for me, our baby she does tend to have a lot of gas, so something that we've really needed are gas drops. Now the kind that we use, I don't even know how to say it, so don't ask, but I'll just show you what we use. So So this is what we use, and they come in like a white and pink box, and I'll link them down below as well. But they come in like these little things, and you just kind of open it up and you can just, they're supposed to be tasteless. You give them like a whole dose. They're supposed to be tasteless, but I swear she tastes something, because every time I put it in her mouth, she just kind of goes, and she really likes it. So I use these. If you do have a gassy baby, you do just have to, like, they are really uncomfortable when they're gassy, so you have to make sure you burp them after every feed. For me, it's also reflux as well, so I also have to have her upright for like 10, as long as I can, like usually 10 minutes. So I burp and then have her upright for 10 minutes so she doesn't spit up. I'm getting better at it, but sometimes she does just get really gassy, so those actually help a lot. You can give one, according to the instructions, you can give one once, and if it doesn't help, you can give them another dose in 15 minutes. I haven't really had to do that. I think I did that once, but for the most part they do help, even if it's temporary. Something else that I do give her is vitamin D. The one I have is just this. It's just simple Equate brand. I also have another one that it's mixed in with apple juice, that it comes in the bottle. So the other one that we have, this is the one that they actually use in the hospital, so I was able to take it home. So I give her that, and she actually likes that because it has a little bit of a taste. But yeah, make sure you talk to your doctor about whatever you're giving your baby. But babies need vitamin D, which I didn't know. For you as mama, if you are a mom that's watching and you've given birth, you'll need to continue taking your prenatal vitamins. If you're breastfeeding or pumping, you'll need to take your prenatal vitamins as well. Just continue taking it as long as you're breastfeeding or pumping. Another couple things you'll need is a play mat. That's what we use. It helps a lot. It keeps her distracted. At first she didn't love it. She would only be able to be down for like 5 minutes, but now she's like down there for 15 minutes, which is pretty good. When I say she used to be down for 5 minutes, no, it would be like a minute, 1 minute. But now we can have her up to about 15 minutes. It just helps. I'll put a video of her just kind of playing around. And then just a couple other things that help keep things a little bit calmer around the home is like a baby carrier. Femi usually is the one that uses those. We have both a structured one, which Femi loves, but we also have a non-structured one, which is basically just a long piece of cloth that you wrap around your body. We did use that in the beginning when she first came home, because she just wasn't, like, her weight wasn't at the recommended weight for the structured one, so we couldn't use it yet, but we had to have a way to keep her calm, so we used the cloth carrier, and it worked well, to be honest, for the first bit. And another thing we have is like a baby swing. That does help keep her calm when I just need to go to the kitchen, like if I need to like go to the washroom, or I need to make a coffee, or I need to just get some food together. It does tend to keep her a little bit calm. So a baby swing. We don't have a bouncer, but I've heard bouncers are pretty good as well. So I would definitely recommend those. Another thing I would say is actually a pacifier. Now, Lily is not a crazy fan of pacifiers anymore. The ones that she did used to use in the hospital, they use these. They're the Avent pacifier. And so she used those in the hospital. She loved them, but I think she just would have taken anything at that point. And then the other one we have, it's still Avent, but it just looks like this. She hates them now. She does not take them. She will not take the pacifier now, but they were really helpful for a little bit. So if you are choosing to use a pacifier for your baby, those are the ones that we use. I really like these ones. They work the best, I would say, on our baby. Now, a couple last items in terms of, you know, laundry and bathing and all that kind of stuff. We use a laundry detergent that is fragrance free, and so that's what I use. I just am really hesitant to use anything with fragrances for Lily, just in case she has a reaction. So, and I just prefer the more natural the better. So we do use a fragrance-free laundry detergent, and I don't use fragranced dryer sheets or anything. And I've actually gone so far as to use the same laundry detergent we use for her for our clothes as well, just because she is on us a lot, and I'm just really aware of what might get transferred from my clothes to her clothes. What I would say in terms of bath time is you need towels. You don't necessarily need baby specific towels, to be honest. Any towels work. You need towels, washcloths, I would say a body wash slash shampoo. What I am finding now is that her hair is getting a little dry, so I am looking to add like a conditioner in there as well for her bath routine. And I actually use coconut oil for her moisturizer and for her hair as well after she comes out of the shower. So I just use regular coconut oil, you know, whatever you find. I use it as well. Something else that has been beneficial to us is a baby monitor. So we use this baby monitor. It's by VTech. We basically use it to watch her while when we have her in the crib and we're out here in the living room. So bless you, boo boo. That's Lily. This has actually been really helpful because our walls are pretty thick, so we can't always hear her if she has like small sounds. This is both a video monitor as well as a sound monitor. The sound, I do have to admit, isn't as loud as I would like it to be, but it's pretty good. You can also talk back through the intercom. We've never actually used this. I wonder if we'll use it when she's older and she actually knows what's going on. As much. I'm sure she knows what's going on, but anyway. And this also has like little songs and lullabies that it can play in the next room through the camera itself. So that's been super helpful actually. We used to use it when she first came home. Something you could do if you don't want to use the sounds, or if your baby monitor doesn't come with sounds, is just get a sound machine. I think in the beginning it was super helpful. Now I don't know if that really makes a difference for her. Plus in our room we have like a ceiling fan, and we also have like an air purifier, so there's lots of little noises going on, so I think she's fine. But we might use a sound machine later, who knows. We do have one. And another thing I would say is a nail cutter. So I got a baby nail cutter. Femi did not see the point of this.
I was like, why is this even useful?
But see, he's saying this, but he's never cut her nails. He's never cut her nails. He doesn't even really cut his own nails, but that's besides the point. I thought it would be really useful to get a baby nail cutter because, you know, ours is like adult size and these are like really small. And honestly, I was right. I like using this on her. It also has a thicker base. So it really helps me have a little bit more control of it, especially with her. Like, she's constantly moving her fingers and stuff. I cut her nails while she's sleeping. I do not try it while she's awake. I did try it once and I kind of nicked her, I'm not gonna lie. And that was not fun because I knew it was my fault, and I was just really like, I hated it. So I do cut her nails when she's sleeping. It's just easier. And I have to tell you something. If you don't know, when babies, it's okay. I'm right here. What I do have to say is when babies are born, their nails are sharp. Like, do not underestimate that. Like, I had to cut her the first couple of days she was home. Like, the first week she was home, I had to cut her nails. So they are pretty sharp when they're born. So I would really recommend having these. We didn't use like the hand mitts. We don't have them and we didn't use them. What we did use was actually just socks. We just put socks on her hands because we were kind of concerned about her scratching herself. So we put socks on her hands until I could get to cut her nails like while she was sleeping and feel comfortable with it too, because it's kind of scary to do it for the first couple times. Now I'm a little bit better at it, so it's good. Yeah, boo-boo. She's just staring at me do this. I would actually say last but not least is for you, if you are the parent, or especially if you are the mama, breastfeeding, pumping, whatever the case is, I would say you need water. Make sure you are drinking your water. This is super important. It just, honestly, this is such an exhausting experience, and the one most important thing I would say is you need to keep yourself hydrated and you need to keep yourself fed. I think one of the best advice that our doula gave us during this time is survival is key. So, you know, do as the baby does, which is really just eat, sleep, poop. Those are the things you need to care about. Those are the things you need to make sure you get in. So those are the things that have been our priority. And in terms of eating, I'd say drinking water as well. So that is everything. That is my newborn essentials list. That's not really an essentials, but it's really nice to have and will make your journey just a little bit smoother. Thank you for watching. If you have any recommendations or any comments or any thoughts on any of the items we've used, please just comment them down below. I am so excited to hear from you guys, and I love the recommendations. Just keep them coming. So for now, my name is Winnie. I have Femi and Lily actually over there just walking back and forth.
My name is Femi.
Yes, and my name is Winnie, and that's Lily, and we are the Doyle Marshalls. See you in the next video. Bye.